right, we're here by the second 188th Street Oval, and there's some good news about the Queens Bus Network redesign. They have finally put up the new Q45 bus stop here on 188th Street in response to the new route going down 188th Street here and making the right turn onto Union Turnpike to the Kew Gardens E and F train station. So as of now, I believe they're going to eliminate this stop in front of Walgreens. I believe that was part of the bus stop removal as part of the bus network redesign that's supposed to begin on the 29th. So we're going to go down, and I'm not going to go far down today, guys. I'm just going to stick around the 188th Street area because of time constraints, because of things on my schedule that I must get to off camera. But we're just going to take a look to see if they put the stop here. Looks like they did over there, so that's the good news. I am seeing the Q45 stop going up, so that's excellent news. So my issue is we're now here at 75th Avenue and 188th Street. And the problem is they're not telling everybody that on June 29th they're supposed to eliminate the bus stop. So there still are some flaws with this bus network redesign. And you know, it just does not make any sense why they would do this. Alright, now we're at Union Turnpike and 188th, and as of now, the only thing that they've done here is just remove some of the bus stop information right around here. So they have not acknowledged that the Q45 is going to start on the 29th. So we're going to cross the street in just a second and see if they have acknowledged it. Because for the Q46, they have acknowledged the Q48, which is a good sign. So we'll go over there and get a closer view of it when I have to walk back home. But yeah, as I said, guys, there's still some flaws to this bus network redesign. You know, they still haven't put anything up for the Q76 going along 14th Avenue. And I know I keep sounding like a repeating record about it, but you know, it gets annoying where, when are they just going to tell us that the route's going on 14th Avenue? I mean, it gets to be a point where the MTA is sort of doing a half-assed job telling the public about the bus network redesign. All right, so now we're gonna come over here to 188th and Union on this side, and they have acknowledged the Q45 local, which technically is not really a local, but at least they have put the sign here. But the problem is, you know, beginning June 29th is the bus is going to make a left from Union Turnpike when it comes from Kew Gardens, right? So the bus has to go in the left turn lane, right? And I'm thinking it's just probably going to be one of those called rush routes, because they're going to have to stop the first stop, which is my stop at 188th Street, 73rd Avenue. So I have a date in mind in August when I will try the new Q45 route, which will likely be after a Bryant Park performance in August, which is probably going to be the goal when I take the subway back. Alright everyone, we're going to do another video about the Q76 today. And what we're going to do is just go near the 45th Avenue bus stop, and we're going to talk about how bad the MTA is pulling a 180 with the Queens Bus Network redesign. So I'll explain why the MTA is putting themselves in a very bad legal problem beginning on June 29th. All right, so we're gonna wait for the light and we're gonna cross. All right, so here's the example You have to quickly strut because you know how impatient these drivers are. So here's the example that I want to talk to you about. So this is a medical building right here. This is 44-01 Francis Lewis Boulevard. All right. And the problem is, beginning on June 29th, especially the day after, there are a lot of elderly people here. All right, a lot of them here. I'm not going to show you their faces, but let's just prove for discussion's sake. So, guess what's going to happen beginning on June 29th? What's going to happen is people are going to get confused, just like they were when the Bronx began their bus redesign. And the main concern is obviously the Q76 bus. Right now, you know, they still haven't updated the signs, even though they claim June 29th, it's supposed to start going on 14th
Yes,
Avenue.
you just reminded me. So for all of you listening, so Lucille told me, so the Queens bus, they have a very limited team from DOT putting up the signs. And so even after the Queens bus redesign, you will still, and I talked about this earlier, when I mentioned bus drivers passing up people who are waiting at bus stops, which used to be bus stops. They look like bus stops. The bus stop sign is there, but legally it's no longer a bus stop. That is what you're going to see, and it's going to cause a lot of confusion.
Just like the Bronx.
Yes.
That's
This is
what
what
I
I'm trying to explain
realized.
to people. And then it's going to cause friction because now people are going to be running up to the bus while the bus is waiting at a red light. And they're going to be like, yo, you didn't stop for me. I was waiting at the bus stop. And the bus driver is going to be like, that's not a bus stop anymore. You got to go there.
Right now.
Where's the bus? These riders are waiting and sending a message with their own homemade signs along Morris Avenue in the South Bronx.
People who live on Monhaven or on Willis Avenue that have to catch this bus, they walk down 143rd Street to get the bus here. Okay? MTA now wants us to walk 6 blocks to 149th Street to get on the bus.
It looks like a bus stop at East 143rd Street and Morris Avenue in the Mott Haven section of the Bronx, but things have changed along the BX 32.
What do you want?
They're trying to get the attention of the MTA. The transit agency reevaluated and redesigned 13 local bus routes in the Bronx. The new schedules took effect at the end of June. Patricia Simpson is the president of Patterson Houses.
When they did reach out, it was before COVID.
Some people say they've been waiting for the bus that doesn't stop here anymore. Consolidating some stops should improve the ride, says the MTA.
The stop that they did make is in the middle of the block where the infrastructure light is no good. Can you see seniors with walkers and wheelchairs or anybody standing there waiting for a bus?
What's happening is we're inconveniencing a population in the community that really relies on this bus.
Clarissa Alietto is making sure the voices are heard, making signs, putting them up for everybody to see.
We're submitting complaints to the MTA, individual complaints, so that the MTA has to follow up with those complaints.
You see, the MTA has not took down the sign yet for this bus stop, okay? So beginning on June 29th, today is June 4th. Thank goodness I have my burner phone with me. So when we get to June 29th, it's going to be deja vu like the bus. The bus is not going to be stopping here. Okay? So understand how big of an implication this is, okay? Let's talk about what medical offices are here, okay? You got Cardiovascular Associates, Main Street Radiology, a breast imaging center, and a podiatrist here. Across the street, you got a primary care doctor from New York Presbyterian. Down further there's another urology building close to Dunkin' Donuts. And they're thinking about eliminating that bus stop too. So the MTA is really putting themselves down in a full 180 lawsuit here. What do I mean by that? Basically, and my group, Passengers United, has been discussing this. We've been talking about this for months now, many months now. I would say a majority of this year. A majority of 2025, we've been warning the public that this is the grounds to sue the MTA on a Title VI basis, violating the Civil Rights Act of 1965. Meanwhile, here comes the fire truck. Let's watch them go down. They're probably off to a 1075 call right now. So anyhow, my point is, what the MTA is doing, they're also going to hurt Fontana's. So you mean to tell me that the bus stop that has no traffic light, you're going to make people go to this stop? Guys, that's like a mile split between that bus stop and this bus stop. And I'm going to make a point very clear about this. It's not only the Q76 that's going to feel the ripple effects of this. And my group, Passengers United, has talked about this, and I want to thank Alan Rosen for bringing this to my attention, one of our members. The fact that 2 communities in Queens are going to get, actually no, 3 communities in Queens are going to get hit hard the most. I would say Sunnyside, a lot of Q66 stops are going to get eliminated further past down Roosevelt Avenue. You're also going to have Far Rockaway by Mott Avenue, and a lot of those bus stops are going to get cut beginning on June 29th. And then Little Neck. Oh my goodness. I don't want to imagine how annoyed people on the Nassau County side are going to be by Bates Road and Little Neck Parkway when they realize that their bus stop got cut and they're going to have to walk to a different bus stop if that even does happen. So, guys, this bus network redesign is a headache. You know, it's really going to cause a burden for a lot of people, especially for seniors, people with disabilities. You know, again, this is discrimination. This is discrimination. The fact that this is happening on the 60th anniversary of when President Lyndon Baines Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1965. I mean, how disgraceful that is. 60 years ago, when a major piece of legislation was signed in this country, which, by the way, LBJ was finishing the work of JFK. How disgraceful. So I gotta go to work. That's my point. June 29th, it's gonna be a nightmare, and I don't even want to imagine how bad the first working Monday of the bus redesign is gonna go on June 30th. At least the good news is Roosevelt Island's not gonna see impacts till later in the summer, which, well, I don't know, guys. I don't want to talk about that right now. So that's it.
This Civil Rights Act is a challenge to all of us to go to work in our communities and our states, in our homes and in our hearts, to eliminate the last vestiges of injustice in our beloved country.